Hello and welcome to Radical Reality TV. We are live for what was supposed to be yesterday's show, but a lot of us were busy, unfortunately, so we could not make it for last night's show. We apologize about that, but we're live now, so the show promises just to be just as exciting, and we're all ready to talk about what happened last night on the episode, and then also we could talk about extra things that happened on the feed today, including the veto ceremony. So make sure you tweet out the link to all your friends. Make sure you tell people to come tune in, like the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. But I think we're ready to dive right into Sunday, starting with Sunday's episode, which was yesterday. And yeah, I think we're ready. So let's just gauge everybody's opinion on Sunday's episode. Let's just start off like one by one and just giving one word or just a sentence about Sunday's episode. We'll start with Tyler.
Amazing.
Malcolm.
Well, I actually just watched the episode because I didn't watch it.
So it should be fresh on your mind.
Yeah. It was okay.
What about you, Dom?
Oh, it was an episode, all right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What about you, Christian?
All right, so it's gonna be like a word with like a dash and then another word, Kodiak Killer. There you go.
Oh gosh, hashtag that. Hashtag Kodiak Killer.
That killer. Hey.
Cody, and then Kodiak Killer. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be talking about Cody a lot this episode. I can feel because he's definitely the star of the show right now, and I don't know if it's necessarily for good reasons.
I was about to say, is that a joke? Like Cody?
No, he's the star of the show, but not for good reasons. Let's put it that way. Yeah, Cody not on good terms in the Big Brother house and not on good terms outside the Big Brother house. So that's a problem. But so starting off with Sunday's episode, I don't know, something about just like I said this in a previous episode, but something about just hearing the guy say previously on Big Brother just like gets me excited. So that's one of my favorite parts of every episode. And we had a little recap of everything that had been going on for the past couple of weeks. Obviously Jillian was evicted, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, because I thought she was boring, but I'm a people person, so I feel bad for her, but I'm glad she's gone. So Jillian was evicted, and we started off Sunday continuing our HOH competition, which, believe it or not, was Candy Crush themed. Probably because Candy Crush came on right after, so they were just promoting it.
But had nothing to do with Candy Crush whatsoever.
Yeah. It was just themed Candy Crush. They threw fake candies in and whatever they were doing.
They were chucking them, too. They were, like, chucking them at people.
Yeah, they were.
Now that we saw the entire competition live on the television, how would you guys say this competition was? Whoever wants to talk about, if you have anything to say about the competition, what do you think? Go ahead, Christian.
All right. First, I am a huge fan of Paul, but I kind of see it like it might have been rigged for Paul, like just a little bit, but like I'm not gonna like tweet that, so like it's not out there. But no, he won a competition like this, and he hosted a competition like this, and I think it was Rob tweeted. He's like, Paul has an unfair advantage because he was on the Candy Crush TV show. So no, I thought it was just for Paul to win. It was an interesting comp, though, but it was favored for him.
Yeah, I could definitely agree to that. Like, obviously, we saw Paul win the same basic competition last year on his season in BB18, and then he comes back and hosts this competition, this exact competition, on BBOTT, and now he comes and he wins this competition. Spoiler, but I think we talked about it in the last episode. So yeah, Paul ends up winning the HOH. This HOH. Paul's your new HOH. So we'll go through one more time now that we kind of had a gauge of everything that transpired, and without spoiling noms or anything. Paul winning HOH, long term, good or bad for Paul's game? Malcolm, you're shaking your head. What do you think?
Bad, Paul. Listen, you have safety for the next 3 weeks. Why? on earth would you want HOH? There's no reason for you to get HOH if you have safety the next 3 weeks. Not to mention you're already a returning vet who was the runner-up of last season. I don't see how this can help him long term. I don't. I wouldn't have wanted it if I was in his position.
Yeah. I think you can also make the argument that Paul probably shouldn't have even been competing in the HOH competition, considering he has safety. And that's a power in itself, being safe. So the fact that he's able to compete for more power in the game, I don't know if that's necessarily the fairest thing, but hey, we all know the producers are obviously protecting Paul. So fair out the window when it comes to Paul. Okay, so now that we all can, I think we all can agree that it probably wasn't the brightest idea for Paul to win HOH. Actually, Christian probably has an idea because he's a great Paul fan. Do you think if you were going to say Paul winning HOH was good for his game, how so?
If it was good for his game, it kind of got everybody in the house more on his side than they were. I feel like it kind of like ensured that, hey, he can win comp, so like he can carry you farther in this game. So,
yeah, I could see that. But another way to look at it is Paul is playing such a good game that I don't even know if necessarily winning HOH is gonna deter. I don't think there's much Paul can do besides completely blindsiding his allies that could hurt Paul's game, at least from the way I'm seeing it now. Because Paul, he's got these people wrapped around his finger. But I could see a crash and burn for sure, just because he's the only vet. That's such a tall order to go up against. And once these players start realizing that they can play the game on their own, they might see that they don't need Paul anymore and vote him out. So who knows? We'll have to see in the future. Go ahead, Tyler.
Oh, I was just gonna say I agree with Christian in a sense, but I agree with Malcolm. But we all obviously know what happened with Cody's HOH. He tried to backdoor Paul. Then he tried to backdoor Christmas. Obviously, like you said, Jillian goes home. Paul wins HOH. We obviously know who he's gunning. I'm not going to say, obviously, who he puts on the block. But, I don't think it's going to be that detrimental to his game long term. Christian said, I think it got more of the people on the outs on his side, if anything. And, obviously, his alliance, like Matt, Raven, Mark, Elena, I don't think they're really going to ultimately care. And I just don't think it's not going to be that detrimental to his game. I did think it at the beginning. I thought that he should just fly under the radar. He has, 3 weeks immunity. I do agree that he shouldn't have been playing in that comp. Obviously, he already has 3 weeks immunity. But I don't know. I think it'll be all right for him. I don't think it's going to affect his game too much. But
yeah, I think I just dropped my ring. But one point to back that up would be the fact that the plan was so set and solid and everybody wanted this one person out of the house. So winning HOH, it couldn't really hurt the person that won it as long as they went after that said target. But down the line, we could see, Paul won HOH and veto. He's a comp beast. Let's get him out. Anything could really happen. So you never know. But so Paul wins HOH, and we have kind of a house blow up a little bit. Jessica and Cody were going up on Josh. What's new? Jessica and Cody involved in drama and Josh involved in drama. Nothing new to that, honestly. They were mad he flipped, but was he dumb to not flip? I don't understand why with their logic, they don't see that, look, the votes were there. That's something that he had to do. But they don't play like that. And obviously, they've shown that they're not really playing a strategic game. They're playing the emotional, so personal game. So it's whatever. But yeah, I don't really want to highlight that Cody Jessica fight with Josh because it was really honestly nothing to talk about. It wasn't good drama. People are saying they love the drama, but to me, it's not good drama because it's just what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Right. You're yelling at this guy for no reason. The vote doesn't matter. Come on now. Julian's gone. It was 8-4. There's bigger targets that you should be worrying about flipping right now. But that's my personal opinion on the whole fight scenario. The Jessica Christmas fight, however, that was good drama in my opinion because Christmas shut Jessica down big time. So that was cool. I don't know what Jessica was thinking. Why would you try and get in a fight with Christmas? That doesn't make any sense. Does anybody have any comments on the fights? Otherwise we're just going to move on right from that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I'm not gonna go too in detail with the Josh, Jessica, Cody situation, but I mean, ultimately, he was just doing what he felt was best for his game. I mean, and I feel like Jessica was so mad at him lying, but that's really what Big Brother is built on. I mean, some of the greatest players lie, manipulate. It's built on that. So I mean, there's nothing wrong with what he did. He felt that it was best for him, and they should just ultimately respect that. And he's not the only one who flipped. Look at Kevin. That man Kevin's got them convinced that he did not do that. So Kevin, the next Dr. Will, watch out.
Yeah, Kevin, next Dr. Will, I could see it. As long as he doesn't carry Paul to the end, But carrying Paul to the end could be a really good thing or a really bad thing. We will see.
I mean,
or allowing Paul to carry you, I should say, because nobody's going to carry Paul to the end.
Yeah, I was about to say, I was going to be like, Dr. Will carried Boogie, so.
Yeah, it could be like – go ahead.
I was just going to say, I guess it could be good for someone like maybe Kevin because he doesn't understand the game, and he could use like Paul's past Big Brother knowledge to help him maneuver through the game. But, yeah, I mean, I agree with what you're saying for sure.
Yeah, Paul, I see a path for like when he first entered the game, I did not see a path for there any way for him to get to the end. The only bet that's such a tall order to do. Jason did it last season in BBOTT, but that's a completely different format. But Paul is showing that there is a route to get to the end. Now he just has to execute. Like he set it up. He just has to play. I think like getting maybe like final 9 to like final 7-ish, he really needs to lay low because that's going to be the time when people are going to be targeting him. And if he makes himself a target by acting crazy or putting, playing the game really hard, that's when he's going to go home. So if he can lay low during that period of time, I think he'll set himself up for a good ending. We'll have to see about that. But let's get to Paul's nominations, okay? So at first, Paul came up with the plan to nominate Matt and Raven, and he was going to take Matt off the block some way or another and backdoor Cody because nobody would vote out Cody next to Raven, which is a good logic. I still don't think you should put 2 pawns up, but good logic. Obviously, Cody would go home next to Raven. So if that plan, I don't want to talk too much about that plan, but on a scale of 1 to 10, somebody just blurt out a number, the level of good idea that is.
-7.
5.
I'm going to go 4.
-7.
-7 or 7?
-7.
Okay, I agree with that. Dominic, were you going to say a number?
Oh, I yelled 5.
Oh, okay. So Dominic says 5. Tyler says 4, and Christian says -7. I would say, not a good idea. If you're going to do 2 pawns, he did it the right way with his noms that we can talk about now, which he ended up nominating Josh and Alex.
King Josh. You got to pronounce his name correctly. King Josh.
And I mean,
oh, go ahead, Joe. My bad.
Basically, I just wanted to say that Paul did end up getting Josh and Alex to basically agree to be nominated. So that was a plus for Paul. So let's talk about that a little, his actual nominations now. Do you think – we'll talk about 2 aspects of it, okay? Do you think it was a good idea for him to nominate those 2 as pawns? Let's put aside the pawn versus putting Cody and Jessica idea up. Let's just think about, were those 2 the best pawns? And then also, was it smart for Josh and Alex to nominate themselves basically as pawns? So we'll start with Dominic.
Wait, hold up. Yeah, I think it was a good idea for Josh and Alex to agree because if they don't agree, what are they going to do? They're still getting nominated at the end of the day, just causing more drama between themselves and Paul. So, I mean, for them to agree, I feel like they knew Cody was Paul's number 1 target, and with that plan, it basically ensured that Cody would go home, especially with Ramsey securing another veto spot by putting himself up. So, yeah, I think it was a good idea for them to go along with it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I failed to mention the fact that Ramses also went up as a 3rd nominee because his curse demanded him to go up on the block or voluntarily go up on the block in the next 3 evictions, and he chose this as a time. So, yeah, that's that's another little side note, but Ramses is irrelevant this week. Anyways. So Malcolm.
Yes.
On those 2 questions, do you need me to repeat it, or do you think you got it?
Yeah. So ask me the first question again one more time.
The first question is, do you think those 2 were the best potential noms if they're going to use pawns, if he's going to use pawns?
I don't know. I don't know if I would have put Josh on the block. I think Alex was, but I don't know if I would have put Josh next to Alice. I might have did like a whistle nut or something, maybe. I don't know. Instead of Josh.
I can agree with that too, because my logic kind of behind a potential Jason and Alex was you could get 2 things. If your plan goes to absolute crap and those end up being the 2 nominees, they're close, so they could end up campaigning against each other, and the person that stays you could pull onto your side. The second thing is Jason would likely go home out of those 2 if the plan failed, and that's a good backup plan because he could compete against whoever's in the battle back, hopefully, which would be Cody the week following. And the third thing is Josh is kind of on their side, and it could have damaged his relationship with Josh, but I don't think it ended up doing it. So I think, in my opinion, I think it was those 2 were good selections. I think if he could get anybody to allow him to put them up, they're a good pawn, in my opinion. And I wanted to talk about, what was the second question I asked?
Do you think it was smart for them to volunteer to go up?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay. I actually do think it was a good idea. Usually I'm not going to say that, but I'm a player that if I played Big Brother, I would play Fearless. So I would if I felt myself in, especially those 2, they're 2 positions where they need to lay low and fly under the radar and let other people create, bigger targets for themselves. So if I'm not going to resist to Paul putting me up, hey, I just scratched your back. Now I expect you to scratch mine later down the road. And that's the type of player that Paul is. So I think it really will end up benefiting both of them down the line. That's just how I see it. And it was almost a no risk situation because the chances of Cody playing in that, it was just a really bad chance that Cody was not going to go home. And if Cody ended up, the noms ended up staying the same, more than likely Ramses would go home. So I think for both Alex and Josh, it was actually a good idea to just let Paul do his thing back, just agree to whatever Paul says, and then later down the road, we'll see if that pays off for them, which I suspect it potentially could. So we have the noms, Alex and Josh, and at this point, Cody knows that he is, obviously the backdoor plan. Everybody knows he's the backdoor plan. So let's just move straight on to the Den of Temptation, which this week our Den of Temptation was the Ring of Replacement, and it basically meant any player that won the Ring of Replacement, and anytime the drummer could use it to replace another player in the veto competition if they are not drawn. So basically, okay, so who would all of us expect end up getting it, and who ended up getting it? Christmas. So Christmas, she got the Ring of Replacement, which is kind of ironic because she can't really participate in vetoes. So, or she probably won't be able to participate in most vetoes because out of veto and HOH, vetoes are usually physical of some sort. So, it's going to be interesting to see how she uses it. I suspect that it'll be in a way to help somebody get backdoored, not necessarily protecting herself from getting backdoored, if that makes sense. Like, she'll be replacing someone so that they can be backdoored. So that's how I suspect the Ring of Replacement will be won. How do you guys feel about Christmas getting this temptation? Start with Tyler.
Well, I mean, I think we all kind of figured that it was probably going to be Christmas that was going to win it. I mean, I personally felt that Christmas was going to win it. Obviously, for someone like Paul who wants to backdoor Cody, this is like Christmas getting it is the perfect, situation for him personally. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much to say. I wasn't too shocked that Christmas won it. I know a lot of people are like, let's get Cody or Jessica this, but I don't think that most people were really gonna go Cody or Jessica to win it.
Yeah. Right.
No. Does anybody have a particular outstanding opinion on Christmas getting this Den of Temptation?
I thought it was smart to use a wasteful one on her like that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. I was just gonna say, I feel like obviously she pretty much got blindsided last week. She broke her foot. She kind of appeared somewhat like an underdog. So I feel like America, the casuals more so, were like, let's give it to Christmas. She really deserves this. And
Yeah.
I think that's ultimately why she personally, got it.
I think she got the crappy end of the stick because I think America's favorites right now, and that's not just Twitter, because there's over 5 million people watching this show, and there's not near 5 million people on Twitter. So we don't get the right gauge of who is, voting what when it comes to Twitter. So I think that she got the crappy end of the stick because I do think, opposed to Paul, I do think she has a rather large fan base. Nothing's going to compare to Paul, but I think she's a character that people could get behind. So I think, it would have been better for her to get the next Temptation, but they're probably voting on who's my favorite. I'm just going to vote for them for whatever the next one is. You know what I mean? So that's not really a great temptation, but hey, a temptation is a temptation. So the curse. The curse. This is one of my favorite parts of watching feeds right now because Mr. Cody Christmas ended up cursing Cody, Jessica, and Jason. Yeah, and they got lucky with this curse. They just have to wear a frog suit for the next week. The vetoed suit for the next 3 weeks, or not 3 weeks. The next
just
2 weeks
week.
or 1 week. Okay,
so
just for this week.
Just for this week.
Oh man, I love, like, for instance, Cody and Jessica today after the veto ceremony, which we'll get into. After the veto ceremony, they were yelling at Josh, and then the conversation ends, and you just see them hopping away. It's just it's so funny. Like, how can you take anybody serious when they're wearing a frog costume and they got these big old eyes on the top of their head?
Wasn't it like Cody doesn't think that he has to wear it on eviction night or something like that?
If Cody knows he's going home, I just cannot picture Cody wearing a frog suit on his way out the door. Like, he's going to refuse to wear it. But, hey, burn your relationship with Big Brother so they don't bring you back for the battle back. I will be more than happy with that, Cody. Please do something stupid.
We have one person in the battle back.
Yeah, one person.
Jillian. No, not Jillian. Jillian's going to, like, quit. She's going to be like, I can't do this. It's just going to be – Cameron's just going to walk back in and be like, y'all thought y'all evicted me? Psych. I'm the twist. And then walks back in.
I don't know. Like, if Cody does something stupid, like, Cody's the type of person that I can see just, like, completely ruining it for himself. But we'll get to Cody and all his craziness down the line. So, the curse, no significance, really. It's just a funny thing to see. Like, honestly, it's hilarious.
It's hilarious seeing Cody in that frog because he's so serious looking all the time. The guy, like, never smiles, and he's got this frog. It's hilarious.
I also liked how Kevin was dressed up like Whistle Night.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Okay, so after the temptation and the curse, let's see. I guess we can move on to everything that's been going on. Here's what we'll do. We can talk about as it stands where we're talking about it. The state of the house and, kind of where everybody is and what's going on in the house and where we feel like everybody's, stands in the house from where we are. So right now, Alex and Josh just got nominated. Ramsey's puts himself up as a third nominee. So that's as we stand right there. Okay. So we have a little bit, some alliances, some unspoken alliances, I should say. There's no official alliance, and I don't think there's been one all season. But we definitely have a house dynamic going on for sure. So we can start off with some duos. We have, of course, Marlena, which is the showmance. And we have Cody and Jessica. We have Christmas and Elena.
Oh,
we have
yeah.
Christmas and Paul.
Matt and Raven.
Matt and Raven. We have Dominique and we have what else? We have Alex and Jason. And I
Paul
think
and
that
Kevin.
Paul, oh yeah, and the most important one, which I
Yeah.
think could be making the biggest impact on the game, we have Paul and Kevin. So we have quite a few duos and quite a few people in multiple duos, right? And my personal opinion on how you play the game is you get a duo and you ride it out with them to the end.
Mhm.
All the winners, most of the winners at least have that one person that they rided it out to the end with. I think that's a great strategy, and it's an effective strategy, and it's a good way to not get blood on your hands, and because the person next to you will have the same amount of blood because you work together. Okay, so let's go in order here. We'll start with Christian. Who's your if you had to pick one duo that you could see sticking together going to the end, who is it?
Well, this isn't my duo, but I saw this tweet the other day. It was like, I see Maven making it to the end, and then Matt just like ditching her like John.
But that would be the worst person to do that to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
Terrible.
I see Dominique and Mark.
Hey, Dominique and Mark.
Elena's gonna go with Christmas because we've seen some like bubbling up in the in a couple rooms, them kissing and stuff. So like,
it's just turned into Bachelor.
Mark's gonna get like out of here. He's gonna be like, I can't do this. I can't have another person in your life.
This is like the
And
love
he's gonna
triangle. But legitimately, this is like the love triangle of Cody, Caleb, and Amber from Big Brother 16.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
we have a huge love triangle in like 4 different areas, like Mark, Elena, Dominique, but also Elena's with Christmas, but Christmas is with Paul, but Paul's with Kevin.
That's not.
It's all over the place. It's
And
all
then did you guys see Jillian's exit interview? She's like,
no, I didn't.
I hate.
Yeah, I saw
She's like, I hate Mark and Elena. Well, no, she had like an interview with Hollywood Reporter, I think, and she's like, I hate Mark or Matt and Elena. Matt and Raven, because every time I would try to talk to Matt, Raven would yell at me, and she'd give me like those rolled eyes, and she'd be like, hey, don't talk to my man. Before the feeds, I was like, what? So there you guys go.
Okay, Dominic, who's your favorite duo?
My favorite, or the one I think will get far?
The one that will get far.
I think
Because we all know your favorite is Cody and Jessica.
more just that Jessica half of that, but the one I think will get far is the married ones, Jason and Kevin. They're somewhat of a duo, the morning duo.
What the heck?
Wait, what
wow.
about Josh?
Interesting.
Who do we more so line Josh with? Like,
I don't put Josh in a duo with anybody.
Right.
Josh is
honestly.
doing it solo, man.
Josh
I
is
feel
playing both sides of the house
No, but I feel
both
like
sides of the house.
I feel like as the game continues to unravel, I feel like him and Paul are gonna kind of gravitate next to each other and really.
It could happen, but it could happen. Josh really has to lay under the radar and show his intel, because we all know Josh is smart. We've seen him have conversations by himself. We know he's smart,
By
but
himself.
he doesn't do good in a social setting. So if Josh can show his intelligence a little bit to Paul, then Paul might be able to jump on board. Paul has to just really, you know what I mean?
Because I feel like Josh continues to show what's it called? What is the word I'm looking for to Paul? Allegiance. I don't know why I can't think of that word.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
he
a
was
good
willing to be a pawn. Remember when Josh wanted to get was talking to Paul about the friendship bracelet, and he was like, "Listen, if I don't give you one, you trust me, right?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I trust you." So I really feel like Josh really genuinely does want to work with Paul, but like you said, Paul has to obviously want to really ultimately be a a strong little duo like a Dan Memphis, like a Dr. Will, like a Boogie type thing. And I don't know if Paul will particularly want to do that with Josh, but I definitely could see that being a cool duo. I'm team for that. I'm team Josh and Paul.
And I thought that they could be together in a solid alliance. But we'll see if it happens. We'll definitely see if it happens. So I think I know who Malcolm's favorite is. Who is it, Malcolm? Or not favorite. Who do you think could get to the end?
Well, I think at this point, because I've changed my mind on this a lot, I think whatever duo that Kevin is a part of, that's the duo that I'm rooting for. Whatever Kevin is a part of, whatever duo he's a part of, that's the duo that I want to see go far. Because he's playing everyone so well. I mean, Cody was like literally convinced that Kevin did not flip. He's
Alex
good.
and Jason too.
He's really good.
He is playing a great game.
Yeah, he is, man.
All right,
he is.
Tyler, who's your bet on the duo going to the end?
I'm just gonna kind of go with what Malcolm said. I feel like anybody who's gonna be really a strong duo with Kevin, and I wanted to jump onto that. Like Kevin is playing one hell of a game. Like I didn't expect this really from Kevin. Like he's working a phenomenal social game. I feel like he's really got himself positioned very well. And like I don't know why everybody trusts him so much. Cody, Jessica, Jason, Alex, like they are all so convinced that this man did not like vote out Jillian, and he really voted out Jillian.
He really did.
it was insane. Like, and they like Cody was going off on Josh. He was going off on Ramsey's. Like, and Kevin was really the one who flipped. He is a mastermind.
He is
Kevin's
good.
gonna be the greatest player ever.
Whoa.
Kevin's the greatest player of all time.
No.
Okay,
Psych.
time for my duo pick here. Man, this is interesting. I want to be kind of separate. So I'm going to say it's going to end up being Paul and Christmas. Wait, did Christmas leave the house? I was at dinner. Does anybody know if Christmas has left the house for her surgery?
I haven't seen her.
Surgery got postponed till Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, but
it did?
Leave Monday. I thought I read that she still had to go somewhere Monday or something. But
I haven't seen her on the feeds today.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't see her at all. I mean, I wasn't really on feeds that much today, but
Me either, but
show's canceled if she doesn't come back.
Yeah, but I cannot imagine somebody having surgery on a broken bone and coming back into the house, like with therapy and all that stuff. Who knows? I don't know what's going on.
She's gonna be hard to beat if she does make it to the end, just because.
Exactly. And who's going to target somebody with a broken foot who can't come into power?
With Raven too, I think we need to take into account that. And I feel like someone like Paul really kind of understands. Like this girl, Christmas broke her foot, was willing to stay in the game. So I think yes, he really does trust her. But do I think he wants to go? Will he go to the final two with her if he has the chance? No, I don't think he will.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's maybe like a final three with Kevin, I don't know. I mean, because I feel like Kevin will, he's really liked personally. I feel like
Paul's going to the end with Kevin. If Paul has a choice, who's sitting next to him is going to be Kevin. That's my guess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And he'll lose.
Yeah,
he'll lose.
Yeah, he will lose. He will lose.
But
again,
the first player to finish second twice.
I would quit.
That'd be insane.
Jeez. Okay, so
Best loser of all time. Good job, Paul.
now we have some more groups. Now that we have the duos out of the way, we can talk about the groups that we got going on. Okay, so we got. Okay, who do we got? Yeah, there's two groups. We got like the Outsiders, which consists of Cody and Jessica at this point, Alex and Jason.
Ramsey is definitely an outsider.
Is like outside of the Outsiders. Like Ramsey.
He's trying to fight
like
trying to
outside.
fight himself to get into the Outsiders category. He's not even.
Yeah, seriously.
I feel sorry for him, man.
Oh, we got that group, and then we have Josh, who is in the middle but leaning towards the other group, and we got Kevin, who is literally smack dab in the middle, not leaning towards any group. He's right in the middle, and the best part about it is he's got great relationships with the two leaders of the groups. He's got a great relationship with Alex, who respectively runs the Outsiders, and he's got a great relationship with Paul, who respectively runs the other group, which consists of Matt, Mark, Elena, Raven, Christmas, Dominique. Although I would kind of put her a little towards the middle, for sure. Dominique, anybody else? Christmas, that little click, that little click. So you have them running, Paul running that, Alex running the other side, and Kevin's best friends with both of them, smack dab in the middle. Another compliment to Kevin's game. So Paul predicts that once he's out of power, his group will crack. His group will crumble. Let's say this. I'm going to throw something out there and see if you guys see it crumbling. I'll say 3 names: Mark, Dominique, and Elena. Do you guys see that alliance crumbling? Tyler, what do you think?
I mean, God, I don't know. I definitely think I could. I probably am going to go toward wow, I'm speechless right now. Once jury hits, I definitely see that kind of crumbling.
That's the key. Jury.
I don't know.
That's the word.
Mark seems like he really, obviously, he's kind of in the middle. Like, does he want to be more with Elena, or does he want to be more with Dominique? So I feel like Dom's really working it perfectly right now, and I think if he has to choose, I think he might go Dom. Honestly,
I think so too.
Really
Malcolm, you're shaking your head, Malcolm. What's going on in your mind?
No, yeah, that alliance is absolutely going to crumble. Those girls, if they make it to jury, if the 3 of them make it to jury, Mark, Elena, Dominique, I feel like that when you get to jury, that's when people start to really take it to the next step, and it's going to be a tug of war, and Mark is going to have to choose, which way he's going to want to go here. Dominique is very intelligent. The conversations that they've had when they play chess. She really gets him to think, but then he's with Elena, they've got a serious flirtmance going on. I don't know which way he's going to go, but if the 3 of them make it to jury, I don't see that alliance sticking together. I think they're going to fall apart.
I want to intrude on that. I definitely agree with what Malcolm's saying. But I think what gives Dom the edge of being able to, I think personally, win Mark over is her intelligence. And she is a really good talker. I definitely think Elena has that little flirtmance with Mark, and I think it's kind of clouding his game in a sense.
It is.
But I definitely think that Dom is going to pulls him in. And if it was me and I had to see, I would want to see like someone like Dom kind of, or Elena stab Mark in the back and then them 2 work together. I think that would be cool. That would bring me insane entertainment. I don't think it's going to happen, but for someone who really loves entertainment as much as I love really good gameplay, I would be on board 100% with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's talk about the other group and how I personally think it could crumble again. This time it's only 1 name, and that's Ramses. Okay, you have the Outsiders Alliance. They already don't have numbers, and they're going to pick off somebody, probably, if they get into power, somebody who would be more loyal to them over the others with Ramses. And that all stems from Kevin. Once again, Kevin has completely convinced both sides of the house that he voted with them. And it's brutal because poor Ramses is getting screamed at and yelled at for voting out Jillian when he literally told Christmas he was voting her out.
He did.
So Christmas knows he voted her out, but the other side thinks he voted Jillian out. So Ramses is just in an absolute worst spot in the game because he's got both sides. Literally, both sides are going at each other like this, and who's directly in the middle of that 2 trucks colliding together? That would be Ramses. So that's how the other alliance crumbles, because once Ramses is gone, they have no numbers at all.
None. Nope.
And I feel like oh my bad. I was just gonna say I feel if the outsiders, if the first outsider was to leave, I feel like if it was Alex, I feel like that outsiders would just crumble. Definitely with the part of not having the numbers, but like you said, Alex is kind of their leader. I think she actually is kind of smart. I think she has a horrible read on the house, particularly like why she particularly thinks. Actually, no. I guess I could see why she doesn't think Kevin voted out Jillian. I mean, Kevin is an amazing dude. He seems very trustworthy, but yeah, I definitely think that what you were saying is 100% true. And I don't know. I just feel like if they lose Alex early on, that outsiders like Jason, they are screwed.
Yeah, they are big time.
Sure.
Big time. big time screwed. Big time screwed. Okay, so we can agree both alliances are collapsing eventually. Now let's get on to what's going to happen Thursday and what's going to contain our next few episodes, which gets into the live feeds, spoilers. So if anybody's watching this and you don't have live feeds and you don't want to be spoiled on what happens, although it's not that crazy, go ahead and click off. Thanks for watching. But so now, basically, Paul ends up winning the veto competition again. He won. How many vetoes did he win last season? He won the veto competition. So Paul has complete power, and he sticks to his guns, takes Josh off the block, and renominates Cody. Now, there's not much to talk about. Cody's going home. Unless something drastic changes and Cody turns into the best Big Brother player in history, Cody's going home. We can talk about, was it a better idea to take Josh off the block or take Alex off the block? Dominic, you haven't talked in a while. What do you think?
I think it was best to take are we spoiling who got took off yet?
Yeah, I spoiled it already.
Okay, yeah, I think it was best to take Josh off the block because I feel like people would be more tempted to vote him.
Yeah.
Sure. I could see more. Yeah, I definitely could see that if there was going to be a flip and Cody was able to kind of have somewhat of a flip of the script, I think it would be if Josh was on the block. So I think Paul taking Josh off, I think it was very smart on his behalf. Obviously, I think it gained Josh's trust a bit more. And obviously, I think Alex was perfectly on board with it. I feel like, I could be wrong. I haven't been glued to feeds like some of the people may be watching. But I feel like Alex was like, yeah, that does kind of make sense of what, how Paul was kind of just explaining it. So I feel like Alex was on board with it. And I think, obviously, she knows that the house obviously as a whole kind of wants to take Cody out. And it would be pretty much, I don't know what Cody would have to do. He would have to pull off something bigger than Dan's funeral to be able to probably win these votes.
Yeah, for sure. Although he would have played it cool after the eviction and not blown up on so many people, he actually might have had a path to staying safe, but he burned all the bridges. Because if I'm a game player in the house, I want to keep Cody in the house. Why? Because it's tension, it's a bigger target, it's bigger problems, he'll be targeted next. But
for sure.
At this point, Cody's dug himself in such a big hole that nobody wants to stick their neck out for him. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
It's not unfortunate because I don't like Cody, but it's unfortunate that Cody didn't, play the game the way that he should have played the game.
Right.
So Cody's going home on Thursday, and from there, anything could really happen because who's going to win power? Paul can't compete. Is there any great competitors on the other side? Matt and Mark, they're obviously strong, but do they have the mental knowledge to pull out a mental competition?
I think
if we had to pick a favorite, if we're gambling, if we had to pick a favorite to win this next HOH competition, I'm putting my favorite, my pick on Alex. That's my.
100%.
Is it gonna? You think it's gonna be physical or if it's mental?
No, it's mental.
Either way, physical or mental, I'm putting my bucks on Alex.
Me too.
It's mental. Sorry, but Dominique's winning it.
I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna agree with that.
I don't know if Dominique wants to win HOH.
I don't think she wants to.
This is what's pissing me off because I've just really noticed there's not that many people playing this game besides Mark Christmas. It's very I haven't spoken for a while, but it's very annoying.
You hit a good
Elena's
point.
not playing, Mark's not playing the game, Matt's chilling, Raven's not playing, Jessica's giving up, Cody's giving up. Cody's already said, I'm not campaigning.
Nobody is playing the game.
I don't like Alex, so I really don't care what she does because I just think she's absolutely annoying. But nobody's playing this game besides 5 people. And
Alex even said today that she thinks Paul's going to win the $500,000, but they can still play for second. That's what Alex said today to Jason.
It's so stupid. Bro.
Dominique said she didn't come to play the win to $500,000. There's probably 3 players playing to win. Kevin, Christmas, Josh, and Paul.
That's 4.
Yeah, 4 people.
First off,
I still think the season's great though. Like I still think
It is
it's great.
great.
Like
It's great. Yeah.
but it's no competitive gameplay. Like the competitive gameplay's at 16's level.
But I think that it's because it's so early on in the game. You know what I
It's
mean? Like,
it is early too.
I just feel like
It's not going to change.
no.
Paul's literally going to run the house.
I feel like the house as a whole.
I don't
Paul's
think so.
Paul's side of the house.
No.
There's no point of really going against Paul right now. You know what I mean? Like, why would you make enemies against Paul right now? There's no real point to do that. Look what happened to Cody. He's on the block. He's going home. Then you know, like Christian was like, my bad. Oh, I almost knocked my phone over. Cody, he was like, Cody's not campaigning. There's no point of Cody really campaigning. Like Jalen said, he kind of burned the bridges with everybody, and he would have had to pull off the biggest. I don't know how he would be able to do. If he did that, I would sit here and say he's better.
He's
than
not.
Will.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up if he's not going to do it because don't.
No, I know that's what I'm saying though. Like I'm saying, so there's no point of him really campaigning because he knows he's going home. Like it's just pretty much a wasted week with him. He might as well just get in as much business with Jessica as possible. Because he's not be able to get the votes. He's better hope that there's going to be like a buyback, and you know who he could probably do, you know, win that because he's a great competition player. But
yeah, I will say this: if Paul, we'll see if Paul is really running the house. Final 9 in between final 9 and double eviction. House. If Paul is truly running the house, he will make it through final 9 to double eviction. If he's not, that is when he'll go home. That's my personal opinion. That's my best gauge of it possible. I'm not a predictor. Oh, gosh, because I don't even want to say the word predictions because my preseason predictions were so bad. No, not even just the Jessica pick. They were all so bad.
I picked Cameron. I thought he was going to be a fucking beast.
They were all so bad. The best prediction I had was predicting a freaking walk. Somebody was going to walk from the show, and freaking Malcolm predicted Kevin spot on. And as soon as I heard Malcolm's talking about Kevin, I was like, no, why didn't I take Like, I can't see a way Kevin doesn't make it to final 2 unless he gives up at a certain point in the game.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we're really going to see how good Paul has really positioned himself once his 3-week immunity is up.
Right.
That's where you're really going to see what
he has
Paul's
one more
really
week.
made of. You know what I mean?
He has one more week.
Yeah, one more week.
I don't know. I think I agree with what you're saying, Jalen. Like, I don't know. I just think right now, from how it seems, obviously, Paul definitely has a huge control. And, you know, like, I got to give credit where credit is due. Like, he's playing a good game so far.
Who's going to take him out?
I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know.
I see Dominique taking him out. I don't see Matt getting in power ever. I don't see Raven getting in power ever. Christmas is never going to get in power. If Josh
see for me,
how's Christmas gonna win if she can't play in?
Yeah.
She can't play in veto.
Paul really needs to keep continuing to make allies. And once Cody goes this week, he needs to really try to amend something with Jessica and really use her, because once Cody leaves, Jessica's going to be completely vulnerable and she's going to be by herself.
And then Cody comes back. And then Cody comes back.
Yeah, but let's just say Cody doesn't win the buyback. I mean, the odds of that happening, obviously, he is a huge comp player. I'm Team Cameron, but but let's just, like, Paul really needs to kind of amend something with Jessica and gain her as an ally. And if he does that and he gets Jessica on his side, I really think Paul is set up perfectly. I really do. I think he reminds me a little bit, and I don't know if anybody's gonna agree. He reminds me of Derek Big Brother 16 games so far on crack.
On crack.
No, but it is like I see so much similarities in his game. Maybe he's not as good as Derek. I'm not saying that, but I see so much similarities. He's just obviously more of an outgoing and abrasive way of Derek. But yeah, I definitely think as long as he continues just to make allies and stay close with the Kevin, stay close with who else? Christmas, and he really tries to work Jessica, and he stays cool with Dom and Mark and Elena. He's gonna be in one hell of a spot. And
yeah,
I don't know what it is. Like, if I was personally in the game and Paul keeps talking about the fact he's a vet and you need to trust him because of that, I'm taking him out when I have the chance. But for some odd reason, it really seems like it's making them trust him even more. Like, hey, I played this game before. I know what to do. And they really seem like they're rallying behind Paul because of that. I don't know if we can speak on if that's just because the house guests are dumb or if that's just how good Paul really is playing the game right now.
yeah. I think it's both. I think it's both. I think it's just like a perfect group. It's just like a perfect group for Paul to manipulate. And then at the same time, Paul is good at the game. I'm not denying the fact that Paul is good at the game. Like, he just is. You know what I mean? He's a good talker. He's intelligent, and that makes for a good player.
For sure.
So I think we can end on this note, which is the next Den of Temptation, which is the Halting Hex, which is the most powerful one yet. And I will say that here's what I will say. I was just going to ask who we all think we should give it to or who we should recommend people giving it to. Obviously, do whatever you want. I personally have already voted twice for Josh, and I will probably continue to vote for Josh. I like Josh. He's one of my favorites, and I think he's in a perfect spot for this, for this Halting Hex. And Cody's helping him by being a complete you-know-what to Josh. So Josh might get sympathy and get this temptation. My prediction is either Alex or Josh will get the temptation, or Mark. Mark could get it as well. Alex, Josh, or Mark. That's my prediction on who is going to get the temptation. Anybody else have another prediction? Kevin.
He doesn't need it.
No, like if I was picking off my favorites of who I wanted, then it's Kevin or Josh. But if it's who it's going to be from what I've seen on my Twitter so far, and that's just going off Twitter.
Right. It's so hard to tell.
I'm going to say
I don't know.
Probably Alex. I feel like if maybe the Big Brother fans want to see like a shift in thing and they want to see some entertainment, maybe they'll give it to Jessica. I don't really.
No,
she's not.
I don't know. Listen. I don't think that's gonna happen because I don't think more so the casual fans, we should say. I don't think they'll personally give it to Jessica, but I think the Big Brother fans who really want entertainment, I think they could vote Jessica. But I'm just gonna say I'm going Alex. That's gonna be my last name. I'm saying Alex wins it.
Okay. Yep. I can agree. Does anybody have any final words? Anybody?
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Make sure to like and subscribe. We once again appreciate everybody coming out on the show. We will be back Wednesday night after the episode, barring any other problems that may arise. But I think we should be back Wednesday, and I'm going to make a valiant effort to come back on Thursday as well after the eviction, barring any type of live feed thing that goes on. So we'll be live for sure Wednesday. Even if it's only two of us, we'll be live Wednesday. And also I wanted to ask you guys this, if maybe like twice a week you wanted one of us to go live on Periscope and talk about the live feed, like do a live feed update. Just tweet at me, let us know, DM me, comment, whatever. Tell us if that would be cool, if you would want to see that. But other than that, thanks everybody for watching another show. Continue, I appreciate your continued support. And we will see you guys on Wednesday for the next episode. Peace out.
Give it a big thumbs up.